everyone. Welcome back to Relax with Animal Facts. I am Steph Wolf, and today I am going to be learning with you about our furry, scaly, or possibly even slimy friends. And in today's case, it is definitely going to be a feathery friend of ours because we are covering the oh so wonderful Superb Lyrebird. This, of course, is a very special listener episode dedicated to Keenan, Murray, and Samantha. Thank you so much for taking the time to suggest this awesome creature, and I hope you enjoy your very own episode. As part of our new tradition, I'm going to ask a question that those of you listening on Spotify can reply to. On the next episode, I will read those responses in the end. Well, not all of them. I think more than 30 of you replied on the last one, but I do like the start of this new tradition. The question for today's episode is, if you could have any ability from any animal, what would you choose? It might be flight, it might be camouflage. There are so many different animal abilities out there, and I look forward to seeing which one you choose. If you love this podcast and would like more of it, you can go to patreon.com/relaxwithanimalfacts. So while you listen to more of this show, you can help support it financially. I also encourage you to subscribe to the YouTube channel, Relax with Animal Facts. I would like to make videos periodically, some of them funny, maybe some of them serious. We'll see. And my last shout out is to George Vlad. His work is linked in the description, and his audio work is how we can go into some of the most remote places in the world. And now, let us begin to wind down a little bit. If this is your first ever episode, I welcome you to our animal podcast family with open arms. You have many, many more journeys to get through. We have already been on over 200. And if you are a returning journeyer or listener, you know exactly what I am going to be asking of you. I have 3 primary exhortations for you. The first is that you put on some running or hiking shoes. You are certainly going to be needing those for where we are going today. My second encouragement to you is probably the most important. It is to realize perhaps where you are carrying some tension and to do your best to let it go. To go on these journeys, we really don't want to be stiff as a board. Loosey-goosey is the name of the game, and particularly I like to use the example of Jell-O. It's the perfect thing that is just tense enough to hold together, but it still wiggles around freely, and so I encourage you to become Jell-O. If you aren't sure how to actually relax your body, or where you carry tension, that is understandable, and I have the perfect little exercise for you. You can close your eyes and in your mind focus on the bottom of your feet, working your way up, scanning slowly, relaxing as you go. So you would start by relaxing the bottom of the feet, then relaxing the ankles, then the calves, then the quads and the hamstrings, and up and up. It'll help you realize where you actually carry tension and ensures you become Jell-O bottom to top. My third and final exhortation to you is that you give your mind permission to wander and journey with me as we go into an Australian forest where the superb lyrebird resides. As I feel I have said 1,000 times before, welcome to Australia, everyone. The continent/country that seems to have all of the cool animals. One day I shall make the journey here to Australia by plane and see just what all the fuss is about. Are Aussies that cool that all of the animals wanted to be there? I'll chalk it up to mystery. But we're not just here to look at Australians. We are here to look at the Superb Lyrebird. It's one of Australia's best-known birds and is a sort of mimic. Frankly, I find this animal to be one of the most interesting we have ever covered. I know I am a guy who constantly uses superlatives, things like saying, I like them the best, they are the most wonderful. It seems like every animal is my favorite, but I mean it on this one. And we will shortly find out what makes this creature just so wonderful. So the general term lyrebird refers to two different species, the superb lyrebird, which we are learning about today, and Albert's lyrebird. As always, this creature bears a scientific name too. Lyrebird is its common name, but the term referred to it by researchers is manura. The term manura can be broken down into two separate Greek words, menos and ura. Menos is related to the Greek word moon or crescent, reflecting the shape of the bird's tail feathers that resemble a crescent moon. Ura or ura refers to the Greek word tail, so their scientific name means moon tail or crescent tail, obviously alluding to their wonderful tail feathers. To me, their tail rivals the peacock. They're quite different, but they're different in a similar way. They both possess tails that I'm sure many other birds envy. The male lyrebird will measure from between 80 to 100 centimeters long, including its 55 centimeter tail. The male will have a dark brown upper body and a light brown lower body decorated with red-brown marks on his throat. His tail feathers are dark brown above and a silvery gray below. The females of this species are smaller than the males, something very common in the animal kingdom, and the females will also sport a similar coloration but don't have that lyre-shaped tail, that moon tail or crescent tail. The female tail feathers, however, are still extensively webbed with reddish patterns, and the male lyrebird that we are looking at now with that magnificent tail of theirs is an adult. Young male superb lyrebirds don't actually develop their lyre tails until they are about 3 or 4 years old. Until they get that crescent tail, they can be grouped together and named plain tails, as they frequently are. Now, while we are speaking mostly about the superb lyrebird today, I think it is still important to just distinguish them from the one other species, which is Albert's lyrebird. Albert's resembles the superb lyrebird, but it's smaller, darker, and has a deeper chestnut color. The male will lack the outer lyre-shaped tail feathers of the superb lyrebird. And in terms of the environment of the superb lyrebird, they prefer moist woodlands. They'll live on the ground in dampened forests, but will spend its night up on trees. They're largely sedentary, meaning they don't actually move very much. They will rarely travel long distances and will often remain in a small home area, roughly of 10 kilometers in circumference. That's just over 6 miles for my US listeners. While we are here in Australia, the superb lyrebird is also found in southern Tasmania. However, I have to say that this creature is not found in many places in the world. It's a special treat, a special luxury to a few. That is, the few in southern Tasmania and a few in southeast Australia, where they eat avi on toast. One would think that Vegemite, or I think Vegemite is how they call it, would be enough to keep this creature away. But as it turns out, it doesn't. But let us talk about what makes this creature just so superb. Lyrebirds have a unique ability high above any others to imitate. They can imitate practically any sound. They have their own sounds, their calls, clicks, and songs, but one thing that they love to do is copy. They'll copy sounds of other birds, other mammals, including us, and can even imitate the noises of chainsaws, horns, alarms, and even trains. There is a video online on YouTube that you can watch at your earliest convenience in which a lyrebird is shown mimicking very eerily perfectly the noises of a camera. It again seems almost AI generated, but it's real and is enough to make your jaw drop. In addition to their frequent imitations, they are known to sing all year long, and experts believe that their imitation allows them to vocally mark their territory and defend it from other lyrebirds. If I was a lyrebird and saw my neighbor copying chainsaw noises and camera shutters, I think I best leave him alone. There is this very curious part of me that wants to know what would happen if you made it listen to dubstep or something. Would it become a kind of beatboxer? Now, come to think of it, if I was an animal researcher, this would be top priority. Or, for example, if I was to do voice activation for a password or something, could the lyrebird mimic my voice and get into whatever technology it is? Are they that exact? I wonder. But let's move on to their diet. Lyrebirds mostly eat on ground-dwelling insects, spiders, frogs, and other small invertebrates that they discover by digging through leaf litter. They are equipped with some pretty strong legs, with long toes and claws, great for raking through dead leaves and soil. So you know these guys get their raking done. Another absolutely magnificent thing about the superb lyrebird is their complex mating ritual. We actually, on Patreon, just learned about together the different courtship displays in birds, but I don't think we learned about this one in particular. The courtship ritual by the Superb Lyrebird revolves around a showcase mound. This is like a stage built by the male bird. It's made up of scratched dirt and can be up to 90 centimeters wide and 15 centimeters high. Every lyrebird area can have up to 10 to 15 show mounds or platforms, which the displaying male can visit in turn. It is during this courtship that the male bird stands on top a mound and spreads its tail over its head, singing a loud, clear song for up to 20 minutes. Talk about Australia's Got Talent. The male Albert's lyrebird, the other species of lyrebird, creates that show platform from trampling on grass. They will sing and display much like the Superb Lyrebird, but its songs will be less diverse and varied. I know in the modeling world there is something known as Fashion Week, a particular time in the season in which everyone is modeling for stuff, and the lyrebird seems to have something similar. Both species of lyrebird have a display season. This season runs from May to August, and the breeding season from June to July. The females will choose whatever males display and sing the best. The males are less choosy and can have multiple mates, something known as polygamy. While the male bird will spend a lot of time constructing his little stage or performance platform, it is the female that will build the nest. While the males appear to know where the nests actually are, they don't help build them, incubate them, or feed their young. Their nests are dome-shaped and can be found on the ground, on rocks, sometimes within tree stumps, caves, or within tree ferns. The lining of the nest is comprised of ferns, feathers, rootlets, and moss, and typically only one egg is laid at a time, which hatches in approximately 6 weeks. After the juvenile lyrebird hatches, it will stay in the nest for 6 to 10 weeks. And so now we know what they eat, what their breeding behavior is, but what about their own predators? It is accurate to say that lyrebirds are mostly shy, and when threatened, they'll flee by dashing and dodging through the foliage while producing high-pitched shrieks of panic. See, I think that the lyrebird's approach is suboptimal. If I was a lyrebird and I heard a chainsaw and knew how to mimic it, I would actually dash and dodge towards the predator, making a chainsaw noise. You can't tell me that wouldn't freak out the predator. But they have chosen their way of survival. One may ask, why don't they just fly away? They are birds, after all. Unfortunately for the lyrebird, they are very rarely able to fly because their wings are very short and spherical, and they are equipped with weak muscles. They will still use their wings, but for things like climbing onto tree branches or rocks. I believe there is still probably much more to learn about this animal, but due to their very localized distribution, I don't think all of the work has been done just yet, and so I wish there was more to talk about with them but that is sort of all I could find about them. But let us move on to the name of the animal, lyrebird. What does it mean, or where does it come from? I think the reason they are called superb lyrebirds is quite obvious. They are superb, they are wonderful, they certainly look superb, but perhaps you also already know why they have lyre in their name. Maybe you have heard of this ancient instrument before. The lyre was an ancient Greek stringed instrument. I actually have met people personally that still play this instrument. So, while it is ancient, it is in no way stuck in the past. The bird's tail feathers, when they are displayed, fan out in a shape similar to a lyre. So, they are a bird with a tail shape similar to an instrument, that being a lyre. It's pretty straightforward. And now it is time for the dad joke portion of the episode. Basically, I ruin your day by telling you a caustic dad joke about our animal. Now, what has happened many times is that the animal will not have any published dad jokes online. I am forced to come up with an awful joke myself, or to consult the all-knowing ChatGPT. That is what I have done today. And so, check this out. Why did the lyrebird get thrown out of the comedy club? He kept telling other people's jokes. I don't think ChatGPT did too bad of a job here. It's not really a pun, it's just using the imitation nature of the bird to tell a joke, so I don't think it did that bad. Frequently, when I consult ChatGPT, it's something just terrible. Something like, what instrument does a lyrebird play? A lyre. It's almost not even a joke. But I guess that's the fun of dad jokes. You kind of want the goosebumps, the cringe, the second-hand embarrassment. That's generally what it's for. But now let us go to the Spotify comment section. This is where I read your responses to last week's question. And last week I asked you guys if you could have any episode, older episode that is, redone, which one would you choose? Be Gia or Be Gaia? I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but B kicks it off saying, I just recently discovered this podcast. I am in love. I listen to it to fall asleep. I would love to hear the giraffe again. It is my favorite animal. Well, welcome to the Animal Podcast family, B, and the giraffe is a good one. I would very much like to learn about them again too. Claire on Spotify says, redo of the panda, love from the Netherlands. Again, a great suggestion, but there are so many pandas. Maybe not so many, but I know there's more than one. The giant panda, the red panda, which I do not remember if they are true or real pandas or not, but still a great suggestion. And howdy from Canada. I would love to visit the Netherlands one day and get scared riding my bike. I hear that you guys are fervent bike riders over there. I feel like I would cause a bike accident of some sort. So I think when I visit Amsterdam or something, I'll just walk. Chloe Eclipse adds, I'd like it if you could do jellyfish. And I say that I would like it too. I'm going to make a little stand-alone announcement about this, but I'll just say it here too. We have done many episodes, and many of them probably the first 100 are so general that it comprises like 40 or 50 species. For example, with the jellyfish, there are just so many I can't name them all. So if you see any past episodes that are like bear, deer, wolf, that doesn't mean we will never cover those animals again. That was a general overview, and now we can do all of the specifics. And now let's move on to Apple Podcasts, where Gracie Boo Cat writes all the way from Great Britain saying, "My anxiety is high at the moment, and this really relaxes me so I can sleep." And then in brackets, whilst also learning some interesting animal facts. I'm so glad, Gracie, that the show could be of help to you, both to relax and, of course, to learn about some interesting animal facts. Animal facts, I think, are great for every situation. Business meetings, escalators, elevators, customer service. There is always a good time to just drop something in there. For example, allow me to demonstrate. Somebody calls, let's say you work in customer service for an internet company, and a customer calls saying something like, "My internet doesn't work, it hasn't worked for 3 days, no one's replying to me. Why in Canada do we have only 2 massive internet companies that both suck?" And then to disarm this stressed customer, you can reply with, "Not all male orangutans have flaps on their face. Do you want to talk about it?" Or, "Did you know the lyrebird can mimic a camera shutter?" I can guarantee you that that customer would love that. They'll start talking about their animals or their animal facts, and soon enough, you don't even need to fix their internet. They can get off the phone happy. Now, if you work at customer service, please record this phone call. I would love to hear it. Now, we have gone a little bit off topic, but that is okay. It is still animal related. But if you would like to learn about a particular animal on the show, you can request one by going to relaxwithanimalfacts.com and clicking on the Submit and Animal Request tabs. To reach out to me, Steph Wolf, for any other reason, you can do so by sending me an email at relaxwithanimalfacts@gmail.com or by sending a message to Relax with Animal Facts on Instagram. If you are a listener on Spotify, make sure to rate the show, to follow the show. You'll get notifications for when a new episode goes live, and same for those of you listening on Apple Podcasts. I think it's a subscribe button there, and you can leave a review. All of those things really help the show, and I appreciate it. If you benefit from the show and you know somebody who also would, sharing is also caring. And lastly, if you would like to help support the show financially, you can do so while getting more of the show you love by going to patreon.com/relaxwithanimalfacts. Without your generous support, the show literally could not run. And so I thank all of you who are already supporting the show that way. A huge shout out to George Flad for the ambiances used in today's episode. His work is linked in the description. The facts used in this episode came from wwf.org.au, Australian.museum, and environment.nsw.gov.au. What a wonderful, or should I say, what a superb animal we have learned about today. The superb lyrebird. an animal that can mimic a chainsaw, a camera shutter, and I'm sure could break into your voice-activated device or password. The beautiful thing is that one can imagine that the lyrebird can set up their performance stage and just flap around. Why are they able to easily and readily reproduce sounds in the way that they do, copying car horns and trains and reproducing that on the stage instead, like some kind of Can You Sing Australia show? The answer to why is a simple shoulder shrug. Why? It's beautiful, I don't know, but that is part of the mystery that fuels my joy and fuels my gratitude for being able to learn about it every week with you. Every week I get to plumb the depths with you of this mystery, the mystery that seemingly has no bottom, that continues to surprise. I am so grateful for your listenership, otherwise I would just be a guy staring into my closet, that is where I am recording right now, and reading animal facts to myself. I won't disclose if I was already doing that before the podcast. That is my business, but this show certainly makes it more fun. Thank you so much for joining me on this adventure, and I so look forward to the next adventure together with the next animal. Take care.